Hello. How is everybody? I have a special guest with me today. Imagine that. She's actually not in bed yet.
Only because she made me. I'm picking off some Fergus hairs. Those are some pretty big Fergus hairs.
Yeah, speaking of.
We have an extra special guest.
He has his own chair.
And
he's been quite delightful the past few days.
He has. He owns us, and that's the way it is. And I don't know, we're still very jumpy. I'm going to look at the camera. Something happened tonight.
Yeah, we're having some weird stuff. Is it really choppy for you guys? Or is this just happening on our side?
Is that better or worse?
I mean, it looks the same to me. It's a little...
Better or worse?
Worse. Better.
Is that better?
Better.
Okay.
That's good.
That's a little bit too bright though, right?
I think it's fine.
Let's see.
Now it's...
That should be about right.
Yeah, and it's big time choppy for everyone. And I'm not sure what is happening.
Is it still choppy?
Yeah,
yeah,
the video's choppy, but the audio seems normal.
This is not... Well, you just keep talking and I'll see.
Okay, so we may just have to swap out cameras.
Just talk normal.
So, it is Motivate Your Monday. We are going to talk about, some successes, some failures, and kind of what it's like to just be not okay, right? And where you just find it hard to just kind of like take a breath. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
It's okay, just
Sorry
talk. Don't talk about it anymore, just talk. I'm trying to get everything together to get another camera.
I understand that, but I'm just trying to explain to people that yes, we are aware that it is choppy.
Okay.
And that we are working on it. So, see who is all joining us today. Apple is with us. Adriana is with us. Tanya, Elizabeth, Aziara, Vigana. Elizabeth is here. Hey,
yay!
Elizabeth, good to see you. Lisa is here. Stacy Bosch. Abigail. Let's see. Carlin. Hydran is here. I almost said the Carlene. Diane is here. So we are working on this. Yes, we definitely know it is super choppy, and we are working on it. Kathy is bringing a new camera as we
Trying.
speak. And actually now it's not really being choppy anymore.
Okay. I don't know how to work this new thing, and I can't find the old one. So.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Yay! I'm just feeling such great joy today. Not. Thank you guys for joining, and it is working now. It must be our internet.
It's the only thing it could be, honestly.
I can't imagine it being elsewhere, but that's okay. We'll have this as a backup.
Yeah, just in case we need it, it's there.
Possibly.
So not sure what is going on. We noticed in a meeting earlier today that it was kind of acting up, but
someone said I fixed it. Ha ha. Thank you. My irritation level fixed it is what happened. Yay, Gina. And
yay.
But it's probably something to do with the internets. Because we've been going live a couple of times, but we were in a Zoom meeting. It was really bad. and I wasn't sure what was going
I
on.
just chalked it off to it being a Zoom meeting because every time I get in a Zoom meeting lately, it seems like it gets weird. So
That's
anyway.
because you freak out by Zoom meetings. But hello, and I'm sorry I'm cranky. Cranky Kathy is here because she didn't get to go to sleep, but I cut up oranges. Would you like one?
So oranges do look good.
Yeah, have one.
I will have one when I'm done.
Okay. She won't eat on camera.
Well, because I'll be going.
I eat on camera. I do. So if you're ever in a Zoom meeting with me, it's 99% chance I will be eating because if I've sat down and stopped doing things, that means I can eat.
Yeah.
So yeah, the audio is great, but thank you everybody. And I'm so sorry everything had to be wacky. It had nothing to do with us. It didn't have to do with the camera settings, but I thought I'd try. Tanya's here, Adriana, Elizabeth, Markowitz, and our plant pod Elizabeth.
Florentino.
Apple is at the max headroom filter. Yes,
That's
it
what it
is.
felt right. That's what it felt like.
That's what it
for
seems
sure.
like for me. Let's see if I can make this a little bit smaller. I'll put it right there, comments.
And Kathy is with me because I don't, and it might be doing it again. It's
It's
so
the-
irritating. Kathy is with me because I.
Nope, it's back.
It's,
It's okay. The other one isn't doing it. Oh, here we go.
hello.
Hi. Let's see if I can set this up somehow.
Yeah, this might just be the better trick.
Something's going on with the connection.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's
We
not.
might have the dreaded cam link problem that other people have had in the past.
Okay. And
There you go.
no, I want it down more. Make it down more. And I'm going to bring over some books. We're doing this kind of the old-fashioned way. That's why we have hundreds of dollars of cameras and tripods and lighting is for me to put books
Here,
on top of my my induction burner. All right, let's see. Here, this way is down.
Yep, that's down. That looks pretty good, actually.
Okay.
We are on an iPhone on a gimbal.
Hello. Sorry the lighting is not beautiful as it might be, but I'll see if I can change that a little bit too. Some of the coloring. You keep talking.
Okay, so anyhow, Kathy's here because I just wasn't feeling very confident today about coming on and talking to everybody. It's been kind of, it's weird. Like, I know a lot of you probably feel it too. It's like there's all sorts of like crazy vibrations going out in the world and things like that. And I know a lot of it is probably election stuff here in the States. It didn't really start impacting us until about Friday, about the time we went and early voted. And then I don't know if it was just being in that environment and everything just kind of got crazy. But it feels like there's just this.
Well, and it could also be more than that. So for us, it could be that for sure. But like, there's all the weather stuff, there's all the big hurricanes, the flooding, and I'm not even talking about this week, but there's the big fires, there's the tsunamis, there's been all kinds of stuff this year. And so I think sometimes it can just be really disheartening.
Yeah.
And I woke up today just feeling this sense of heaviness. And, I don't like to have my routine messed with at all.
She doesn't. No.
Like, you would think, because I'm like, woo, I'm going to go live and let's make up a recipe. You would be like, oh my God, she can do anything. No, she can't. And it took a long time for me to do that. So like with Cheryl working here now, which is awesome. And I feel like we put that into being. It's still a lot of loose ends, losing Max, traveling for 2 weeks, which...
And I think coming back from 2 weeks, I think it really, that first day back hit us kind of hard about Max. It was weird. The whole the energy of our house is different, and usually when we come back from a trip that next morning, we immediately go get Max at the kennel, and we didn't do that. And so there was this, bit of emptiness, a bit to it. So things like that, they make things hard.
Well, and it could be anything. Like, I can tell you my circumstances, like what's going on for me right now, and you may have the same feelings, but for different reasons too. And I just want to leave space for that. And when we're saying the election too, obviously you're not all in the U.S. either, so you may not be feeling that we are. It's just a very interesting kind of overwhelming wave. And I met with Danny, who's my business coach and friend, and she was basically like saying, the whole world's tore up. It's not just you. Just take a deep breath. It'll be over in a while.
This week is just what it is, and
right. And she was feeling very dysregulated as well. She's like, we're all dysregulated. And I was like, I don't feel completely dysregulated, but like my stomach hurt, like there was a rock in it. So I took a walk.
Right. I was going to say, so what do you do when you get up and you feel like, I just can't adult today. I can't. I feel like this huge weight on me, and you get out of bed and you think, oh, I'll brush my teeth and take a shower and see if that helps, and then it still doesn't. Like,
I'm like, that's too grown up for when I feel that way. Though I did do something grown up, but here's the thing, and I think it's different for everyone depending on how many teaspoons you have, and I think most of the people are used to that terminology, which is used more in chronic disease world, which means like if you have a chronic disease and you wake up, you don't know if you're going to wake up with a tablespoon of energy, a cup of energy, or like a quarter teaspoon of energy.
No, sometimes it feels like this.
Right? And it's okay. You've got to start where you are. Like for me this morning, like yesterday, I was so proud. I got up, I took a shower. I'm like, I got these super cool herbal scrubs while we were in Salem. I was all witchified. They have little affirmations to say on them, and I've been working to kind of be intentional about how I'm setting my mindset, how I am showing up in the world. And I think that's what made today extra frustrating, because I've done extra good.
And you've really worked hard. Like, you've really focused on that for like several weeks now. You've been really focusing to make sure that you were doing all those things.
Yeah, that I was really, because it can be easy when things get overwhelming for me. And by overwhelmed, I mean that I feel like dysregulated. I can't make decisions. That's what it feels like to me. And so to not shut down, to not just like hibernate like I want to. And so when I woke up this morning, I was like, taking a shower was not a thought. I was like, I'm going to put on my skeleton sweatsuit that I just got, which you're probably going to see me in all week. Cheryl will wash it periodically, but chances are good that you will see this all week, because it's cozy. Even though it's really cheaply made and it's pilling up a lot, it's just very comforting. I took a walk. I'm like, let me go take a walk. I said, Cheryl, do you want to come? She was like, and I was like, I'm gone then. I'm gone. You go have a good time. And I walked. I talked to a friend. I felt a little bit better. I did brush my teeth before I left, which is that's one of my things. When I have a quarter teaspoon, if I can just brush my teeth, I feel like I've made a big accomplishment. And it's one of those little micro steps I can take even if I wasn't able to go for a walk. Like, and eating a banana. So one of the things when we went to the store, I got a bunch of bananas because I know even if I don't want to cook or I don't really want to eat, I can just peel a banana and eat that. So when we went shopping, I tried to prepare us for whatever this week was going to bring.
And then she had the cooking class on Saturday, and so luckily, because neither one of us had the energy or basically the time today to actually fix any dinner, excuse me, we actually ate leftover chili tofu that she made in Kathy's cooking club this weekend. And luckily, you know, we made a big batch of rice. We had the leftover stuff that you made. We still have the coffin loaves that we'll have.
And we'll probably make some mashed potatoes and gravy and stuff and do it on a live. But I tried to intentionally pick this Halloween class. I wanted to pick a class that I knew I would enjoy and wouldn't be really difficult for me. And I'm actually, for the first time in 5 years, moving a Kathy's Cooking Club class from October to November. So there's 3 classes then. So I did try very much to arrange my life in a way to let me grieve and let me just kind of have a little bit of time instead of really trying to push my square peg of a head through a round hole of life is really what I was trying to do. And so when I can be thoughtful, I'm trying to be thoughtful and make those plans. But then there will be hours within the day that I'm like, I can watch reality TV right now, or I can work on something that's very easy. So I'm not just stopping, but it's disappointing. What's disappointing for me is that we took this long vacation and drive, and I feel like we really worked through her shift in job, losing Max, kind of finding myself, and like the eCam fam, if you guys are on the newsletter, you know that they're fantastic people just like you guys. Like, they are amazing.
It's an amazing community of people, and everybody just like comes together. And
it's positive, and it's like, let's help people together. Like, everybody is trying to share something with the world to help the world and make it a better place. And it's just, so it's such a good feeling. So then coming back here and then kind of going womp womp.
Yeah, it was weird because like we were really like, on the way home, we were like, oh, this is awesome. So much better than last time. We're not going to be all dysregulated and all out of whack.
And we weren't. And we're still not. I would not say that I'm dysregulated as much as I feel like I'm soaking up. I'm feeling the strange energy in the world. Like, it doesn't feel like it's completely embodied in me, but I'm certainly reacting.
And it's not like, and we've been taking time for ourselves and doing things that are fun. Like
we took yesterday off mostly, which we never do.
We went to this really lovely farm out in Nightdale, and we went with our friend Helene, and we spent all day and had a lovely dinner together, and we felt fine, but it's just like this. It comes in waves, kind of, and it's hard to explain. And I think all of us have had that at some point. If you don't have it going on now, I know Tanya mentioned, you know, she's had a loss of an animal recently as well.
Unexpected loss of her cat, and I know she's been working through that, and Hydran says, I'm cranky today too. And so I wonder, there's a part of me that wonders, maybe all the stuff I'm feeling is some stuff that's just out in the world. Because at this time of the year, I tend to be more sensitive to those sorts of things. And we saw someone, Vegana was really glad that you're back with Motivate Your Monday, and so is Plant Only Muncher. Roxy's here. Video 1000 Nights. It's, it was saying reboot everything. There's some camera connection thing. So
I touched it and it got better, and then it got worse again. So I think we might need to replace one of our adapters. So
let's see if I can move this. I feel like I'm right in your face. Right here. Please don't anyone be watching this on your giant TV. I'm like, that would not make me happier. And so, let's see. Vegana says Puerto Rican after, I
was just starting with that with some other friends on the live, and
it's just a very unsettling time for me. Oh, thanks. Apple says that's a really quality camera. It's my iPhone. That's all it is. It's my iPhone. propped up. It could be just propped up on a tripod on some books. Like hopefully I'll clean my office soon, and then I'll be doing lives from the treadmill again, but that's what I do there too.
Yeah. No, the iPhones have great cameras, y'all.
They really do. And if any of you are looking to do more video stuff, it really is what I recommend. Our video setup has been built up over the years.
Yeah. And it's about time for some of those adapters to probably need to be replaced. We've been lucky. We haven't had to replace any of those since 2020. So
that's when we started using all of them, and we may not even have to use some of them now. But that's not a conversation for here. You don't need to know about that. Abigail says my earbuds are charging. Awesome. Yeah, and Tanya's saying so many bad vibrations have been impacting my life lately too.
And then the other thing too that's been going on, like our neighbors across the way. Are having to replace their whole septic system, and so they're having to dig a new place to put the tank thing, and so there's a lot of rock here.
It's a lot of...
And all you hear all day is...
Yeah. It's been ever since we got home all day.
And so that, that impacts you too when you have all this stuff. And so... I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that it's okay to feel that way. And it's okay to figure out a way that works for you to try to overcome it. And that's why I wanted Kathy to be here, because Kathy has... But I mean, because
Kathy can't keep her mouth shut about she's cranky and what she did. That's why.
But... I mean, you actually, like today, you are the perfect example of that today, right? And you knew, like, you did the two things that I think are so important for you to do when you're in a situation like that and you're just like, I need to breathe, I can't catch my breath. You did exactly what you should have done. You did something that you knew typically helps you. You went out and you moved. And you
for me it's not for what helps me. While it is moving, walking means something different to me. So like when I went and took the longer walk where we take you oftentimes where we go past the state park, which is just down that way. It sounds more elaborate than it is, but where I could get into the trees, where I could see the colors are starting to change here. These are the things, and so I could hear the insects. I could hear the birds. Those are while walking is helpful, and walking does help me calm down, just moving.
Well, and exercise in general can help a lot of people.
Absolutely, but I just wanted to be more specific. I went out also just to get all of those meditative sounds that usually help me ground and kind of get back in my body, kind of like, are these my feelings or are you cranky today? Right? Or is the cat just a jerk today? Like it helps me kind of go, okay, kind of get back into touch with my body and my mind and all that. And there may be other things that help other people, but sometimes... That's why a lot of times I work out on the deck and things like that, because even just hearing all the night insects really puts me, it triggers good things for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, I actually go to sleep with special sleep headset every night that actually plays crickets and frogs in my ears until I fall asleep every night. And it's been very helpful for me to actually be getting fuller night sleeps now, because I relax so much before I go to sleep, and it's been really helpful. And the other thing that you did that I thought was really great on trying to, get yourself to where you could breathe, was you also reached out for community. You reached out to a friend.
I did.
And you talked to somebody. And community is very important when we're going through things like this, especially like right now as we're talking about. A lot of people are posting like they are feeling it collectively, right? And so reach out to your community, reach out to your friends. If you don't have any friends close to you, go on the heartbeat group and
Yes.
reach out there in a message, and people will talk with you. You can actually DM people in there and have direct conversations that you don't even have to post for everybody. Reach out to me. Just,
Yeah, and feel free to start a thread going, now, what I don't want it to be is then less just talking politics.
Right. We don't
Here
wanna do
or
that.
there, just because that,
That can cause more.
more craziness for everyone. But you can say, I'm having a hard time. I'm just kind of trying to be generic. I'm having a hard time with the election going on and things like that. But you can just say, I need some help. Does anybody want to go walking with me? If I had been a little bit better, I would have taken you guys walking with me, but I thought I was going to be possibly in a negative headspace, and I didn't want to bring that to you guys.
Right.
But we are hoping, especially now that Cheryl got a new gimbal, that perhaps won't. I think the problem is me, but we'll find out, won't we? But Stacy was saying it's good to ground ourselves in nature. And
Aziara?
look at me getting the name right. There were lots of brush fires around Salem today, but no real threat to Halloween happenings. And
That's good.
Yeah, and Hydra says, bummer I missed you this time around. No Ann's Pizza. Next year for sure.
Yeah, we actually had to go to Boston for another thing that we had bought tickets for, and that kind of shifted our way we were doing stuff. But definitely next year we will be hitting up Ann's Pizza with you. That is probably the best pizza that I've ever had with no cheese.
Is your mic on? Because someone's saying it's low. It could have been from a while ago.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, I don't know then.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, and Elle says she's familiar with the spoons theory. Yeah, and I think it's helpful because when you're thinking in those terms, you're not, for me at least, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm terrible, I don't have any energy, I'm not good, I'm not producing. An apple is the best in the world at saying it's okay to not be productive. But it is also real easy for me to slip back into that if I'm like, oh, my energy's low. I don't know why, but it makes me roll my eyes at myself. But if I say, oh, my spoons are low today, how can I spin that spoon? That still kind of puts the power back in my hands somehow. It may not work for everyone, but let's see. All right. And Sean's saying, I want to respect the chat. Are we allowed to have opposing opinions if it's not political?
Yeah.
I don't want this to be a political conversation or a political space. This is a space of community where we're all here for one cause, to support each other in our health journey. Mm-hmm. So,
but if you have an opposing opinion to how we feel about coping with things, we are more than happy to hear it.
That is perfectly fine.
And if anybody else has a way that they use, like Kathy uses the forest bathing and things, if you have something that you use that could be interesting for everybody to think about, because like sometimes people will say, well, I do such and such, and I'll be like, well, I've never thought about that, and then maybe I give it a try. So if you have something like that you do, we would love to hear about it.
Yeah, and Adriana says, I do morning meditations at 5:30 a.m. with a great Indian guy named
Panache
Desai. Desai. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm so sorry for that. Claire says she loves our Halloween clothes.
This is my actual Salem shirt.
It is. Do you want to show them the back?
From Black Craft.
We bought Salem. New clothes. This I bought before we left, but yes.
Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see it. That's good. And Adriana says, lately I've been waking up with very sore ankles. Either that or my joints are bothering me. And so true confession, I ate a lot of wheat. I have a gluten intolerance. I'm not celiac, but what happens is my joints swell a little bit. And so I've done it to myself. So you have not probably. So I'm sorry that that's happening. And sometimes it all depends on what the cause is. But we also didn't drink enough water, for
No,
sure.
No, we did not drink enough water while we were gone, and so we are just trying to like shove it down now. Like, well, part of the reason was because you know how much we love ice. And most of the places that we went to, these people do not understand when you ask for ice that you really want ice. So we get like 2 or 3 cubes and something, and then we're both like, okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to. That's the ice in my cup.
Right? Mine's almost melted.
And so, like, if I go back to get more water, I'll put another scoop of ice in it. And that's just me. I'm not saying that's the best way to drink water or anything like that. But for me, it is. And so, like, warm water, I'm like, I worry about our trip to Europe when we go because I'm like,
Those people don't use ice.
I know. Oh, Fergus, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you went down there. So that's our cat, Fergus. It's not a strange person we have tied up down under the cabinet.
Nope, he's back in his
Okay.
There he is.
Fergus. Da-da-da. He keeps us happy.
Except when he's naughty like he was earlier.
Yeah. It could be worse. Okay, now I feel like this is too small. I felt like it was too big earlier. I can't make up my mind. Abigail says, thank goodness for potatoes because my digestive system went rogue and I was able to bring it back on track after a video call with a nurse. Great. It's good that you reached out for help, and it's good that you found something that's really working for you. Hi, Diana.
Kathy bought us lots of potatoes when she went to the store.
We have baking potatoes, mini potatoes, yellowfin potatoes, so many potatoes. And some of them are going to get mashed and served under like meatloaf. And Adriana says, oh yes, I love my bananas. Usually I get 3 bunches of varying colors. Ooh. And I'm all out right now, so I'm missing my bananas. So, and don't forget, you can always, when the bananas start getting ripe, you can make sweets with them. You can use them as sweeteners. You can make them into Ninja Creami pints. But when I feel like I just don't know if I know I can eat a banana. Like, if I don't have that much energy, I'm in big trouble. Then Cheryl will open my banana and give it to me. Let's see what else. Oh, and Tanya says, I was excited you guys were doing a live tonight. Well, and it is going to be most Mondays. Cheryl, the food got delivered right when I was going to make Cheryl do her live on Monday. We were in a hotel room. And she just was like, no. Me, I would have been eating and said we're having dinner together. But she doesn't like to eat on camera.
I don't like to eat on camera. I don't know if that just comes from like when I was working in the corporate world and they always were like frowning on us having food on camera during meetings and stuff. But
I did it in the corporate world too.
You do not follow any rules. This one is, there's a reason why she is not in the corporate world. Because
I can't take random rules that make no sense.
She's that person where you tell her what the dress code is and she's going to push it within like this much of its life, like to the very, very, very edge of it that she can.
It's true.
She does not like to be told what to do. She's
I don't.
very independent.
But it's very easy to get me to do the right thing. That's why I'm good at getting other people to do the right thing. You let them know that we're doing it together. We're all coming together.
Doing it together,
right? And Diana was saying we look radiant and refreshed, and I think we do.
I think for the most part, yeah. I mean, there's just been some things that have been kind of hard. We've had, going back to successes and failures, we had lots of successes on our trip. Mm-hmm. And our failures were very few. We were making pretty good, wise choices most of the time.
Yeah. We were not perfect at all.
Definitely not perfect.
And from the past 6 weeks, 7 weeks, however long it's been, I've definitely gained back some weight. Not all the weight I lost, but it's more than I'm happy about.
Yeah,
and so I'm getting back on to that train and getting back on, and it's still going to be 85 to 95% of doing starch solution. But like all the food I made for class was starch solution compliant. And in fact, for the book, the Potions and Powders book, which may get pushed, I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I made a sugar-free sweet Thai chili sauce.
It's delicious. It really is.
Because
delicious.
I ran out of it. I made a regular one with white sugar. And then I thought, oh, in class, I'm going to try and make one with a different sweetener. And it wasn't dates. And it tastes good. But so even with that, like we made Thai chili, or the chili tofu. We made these great little pumpkin cookies that are real soft, kind of like the black bean chocolate cookies, but everything's compliant.
Yeah.
Video 1000 Nights says, I'm addressing my fear of a speed bump. I'm getting over it. Oh, you got me on that one. Okay. Sean wants to know what our zodiac signs are. I am a Taurus.
Big surprise there.
And that's also why I find it so comforting to be out near the trees and hearing all that stuff is really a quick calming. Cheryl is a Pisces.
I am. So a good shower does me wonders.
Right? Yeah. No, that's one of the things that
I can just look at water and be happy. That's why I like to go kayaking and stuff like that, because I like to be near the water. I like to be able to drag my hands in it, get in it. I do love the water.
Okay. And Adriana says, grieving can be really tough and understandably comes in waves from my past experience. And I know Tanya is experiencing that too. Okay, Apple, I will try and come back and look at some of that and see. I'm behind in the chat. So what? Apple is a moderator, so if Apple does ask you any questions, it's helpful if you let her know what's going on. Tanya says, I went for a walk in the woods yesterday and it helped me too. All the smells and sounds and sights. And I think for me, it is about getting all that sensory input. And whenever I get really stressed out and I start to shut down and hunch over, I notice if I take a walk, I open up. I really do.
You breathe better and deeper and yeah.
And I think you probably do some of the same stuff in the shower, because you like having that water.
I always come out a little pep in my step.
Yeah, forest bathing, exactly. And we've talked about that some too. And Adriana says that she's very sensitive to noise and when the gardeners are here. And it is leaf blowing season, which is the bane of my existence.
Leaf blowing season is hard here. And it's like, we don't even live in like a proper like subdivision or anything like that. And there are probably 5 houses in our immediate vicinity and no one gets their yard done on the same day.
No.
Every day of the week, somebody's yard's getting the leaf blowers out there, and it's just,
Yeah. It's a lot, and it's funny because you didn't really think you were noise sensitive. I noticed last year when I came back, like last year in general, I had begun to realize that I was neurospicy, which means that's a lot of different things, but kind of ADHD, autism, any of those spectrum-y kind of things. And so I was just kind of noticing some things, and that's when I realized how noise sensitive I was. I do remember 2020 asking Cheryl if she could just stop breathing for a minute or two.
She did. Yeah.
Or to go downstairs, and we all know what she picked. So she's still...
I'm still here. I went downstairs and made myself comfortable down there for a while.
And, but your noise sensitivity, kind of as I started doing stuff to mitigate mine, you kind of discovered your own. I think the more that you saw me do it and you started putting in earphones or earbuds, and we always carry them with us now, although I don't use them nearly as much as I used to, there's a comfort. But like when you have things like the leaf blowers, even if I have isolation headphones on, I still hear it.
And I think part of mine kind of comes to because I have a bit of a hearing problem sometimes, and I can't filter things really good. And I think when there's a constant noise level, it makes it hard for me to process things and to think, because it's just all I can hear is that one sound. And so by having the earplugs or something like that in, it kind of helps me to filter things better and not get so anxious about it. I've been like that ever since I was a kid, though, like the not being able to filter sounds well.
Well, being a musician, I hear everything. Like, she'll be like, you hear, because I'll like hum something, and I'm like, is that the washer? And she's like, yeah, you can hear that? And I'm like, yes, that's why I said it. But Aziara says, I had terrible weekend, realized I needed to get the pest guy back. I fell on Saturday unsure, but landed on my floor. I landed on the floor and hurt my shoulder. I hope you feel better, and I hope your shoulder is feeling better for sure. And Adriana says, I don't get much walking around in the condo, but you're absolutely right. The trees and the birds and the squirrels are very grounding. And sometimes, like, and I do this on phone calls, I pace the house or I'll pace the deck. I've done that forever if I'm on a call, or sometimes just even, we're fortunate that we have the back deck, but like, I open the windows whenever I can, and that is just to hear the sounds. Like, I already checked tonight if it's too low, if the low temperature is too low for us to have the window open, and I think it is. It's 47, so I closed it. But there's little ways you can do it, and sometimes, depending on where I am, I will even go to YouTube and look up, like, sleep sounds or nature sounds, and there are these very strange but alluring Korean camping videos. And you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
They're amazing. There's usually no words. They blow up these giant, basically townhomes of a tent.
Yeah, they're bigger than yurts, some of them.
They set up couches and beds and a kitchen area, and it's all quiet, and usually you just hear the little noises, and sometimes it's in the snow, or sometimes it's raining.
And they take their cats with them.
Yeah, at least the people we're seeing. And so even if you find something like that, something that just takes you out of yourself and puts you in a place, like another thing that I ended up watching all kinds of weird stuff, was like the coldest place in the world, how they get ready in the morning, and it's like -40 outside, and they're like, and I'm like, how do you do that? And sometimes if I'm thinking too much on stuff that I can't really get any movement on, and that I'm not ready to process through. So I don't do this instead of ever processing, but like, let's say tonight, if tonight I felt as bad as I did this morning, if my stomach is just gnawing, I will take a magnesium, which will help me get drowsy, and I will watch something like that. And then in the morning, I usually before I will go to sleep, I'll make a deal with whatever teaspoony thing I'm going to do tomorrow. So I have a goal, and then that kind of helps me relax back into things. Do you know what it? Yeah. And that's even when it's really bad, like when you're just feeling all the feels in your body. And that's one thing Danny and I were talking about.
Yeah. Maybe we should have Danny on sometime.
Oh, we should. Because she actually, neuro CEO, so she coaches spicy people, but she's also a food blogger. But she's really, really awesome. Adriana listens to my Echo show with special sleep sounds. Yep, and we have a certain rain sound that I put on to go to sleep.
Yeah, I have the headphones on with the crickets and stuff, and then she puts on rain sounds.
And SFOS says take a power walk with walking poles. I take a power walk with walking poles every morning at about 6:30. The stars are out, and it's awesome. And for me, it all depends on what the temperature is and if my body is ready for that, hot or cold. Because like it was 80 one day and 60 the next day. And so that makes it hard for me. And Raven, hopefully you heard about the spoons theory. It's like how much energy you have, and you're just kind of measuring it in spoons. So that's done mostly with people who have less energy. And Lisa likes to go for hikes when she's feeling unsettled.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Elizabeth, loves using essential oils for a mini break when needed. And I think smell
Smell, yeah, definitely.
can be a really big thing too. And and actually, Elizabeth, if you have some essential oils you would recommend for certain things, she actually, she's the person who's in charge of the Chapel Hill plant pod. So you've heard me talk about her a bazillion times. You've seen her probably.
And she's also a doTERRA representative.
Yeah. So, anyhow.
Feel free to post a link to the doTERRA stuff if you would like.
Yeah, and if you can't,
just
send it to me and I'll see if I can put it up on the video later. And Diane says, I think about things I'm grateful for, and that's a really good thing to do when you can too. And Raven loves the bats on Cheryl.
I love this. Like, I just thought this was the cutest thing. And then, like, there's the little bat hanging with the moon. And it's from a store called Blackcraft in Salem. And it's a cool store. It has all witchy, like, things.
Mostly T-shirts and shoes
sweatshirts
and stuff like that. But they have a regular size bewitched statue in, like, the square. They have a giant one hanging from the ceiling, and it's super cool.
And it used to be a bank. And so they painted the vault all blank, painted everything black, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And they have a coffee bar now there too, but during the Halloween it's so busy there that you have to have a reservation to actually get coffee there, so we did not get coffee at Blackcraft. So.
And we didn't take you guys there on the tour we were going to.
There was a line. There's
so
always a line.
In Salem in October there's a line just to get into stores, and I was like, it would be really cool for you to see that, but I probably have a picture that I can show you sometime. And Apple says, I can see your ice machine working overtime behind you.
There.
Exactly.
It's funny because the light looks like it's flashing from the camera.
Yeah.
But it's not really. But it is working. It is working hard. First thing I did when we came home, like as soon as we got out of the car, I came in the house and cleaned the ice machine so that we could get it just cranking out the ice.
Yeah, you cleaned it and everything. I was very excited.
I did the whole 9 yards.
It was very, very nice. Tanya buys 4 to 5 Costco bunches of bananas at a time and freezes them, and that's something you can freeze. And don't forget, other things you can freeze are like if you made too much soy milk, or if you didn't finish your soy milk and you're going on a trip, you can freeze that in ice cube trays for when you come back.
So this is why I have her on. Because she's so smart.
It's the same stuff.
And it's her kitchen.
What do you mean? It's my...
I said I have you on because it's your kitchen.
No, it's our kitchen. It is my kitchen.
It is her kitchen.
I made it sound so nice, and I'm like, that's a big lie. Like, we can coexist, but it is my kitchen.
Oh, and you should hear the conversation if I put the forks in the wrong spot in this drawer.
She's not, if there was like a match game that would save our lives, I would not let her participate. I would do it. It's just like.
You put them back wrong the other day, I noticed.
Did I?
Yes.
I believe it.
I was going to say something, but then I was like,
you should have said something.
No, because I didn't want to start. I didn't want to start you off on a bad thing in the morning.
It's awesome. And Stacy says maybe call them learning experiences instead of failures. And I think
that's a great idea.
And I do try to do that. Like, that's how I feel about, like, if I'm trying a recipe, like, I've really trained myself into that I can, like, we even did one recipe in class this year, I think. And I was like, I'm not going to give you that one. I didn't like the way it turned out. We'll do something else another time, which that's the only time it's ever happened. But most of the time when you just go and do stuff, you learn from it and you can change it into something else for sure.
Yeah.
And Linda says, I've hit a weight loss plateau, so retool with left of the line on the calorie density chart. Absolutely.
Yep, we are firmly back on the potato, rice, vegetables. Let's see, you made us lentil loaf and
coffin loaves.
The the zucchini muffin. The mummies are going to be yummy
yeah,
too.
so we made stuffed zucchini mummies too. Well, you guys will see some of this stuff coming up. And Tanya says, I've also gained weight from emotional eating, a lot of vegan treats and not so healthy things. Being kind to myself, like we always say, I'm not going to get upset, just get back on track. Exactly. And I say this to you all the time, but literally, I'm saying these things to you because it is what I'm saying to myself. Because I'm kind of like, meh, meh, meh. Like, I would never be as mean to you as I could be to me, right? And I can be pretty tough. But what I'm trying to do is go, I don't usually give myself that time I need to process stuff, and I did. Did I do it imperfectly? Absolutely. But that's a better step towards maybe next time when things get all crazy and I'm dysregulated and things like that, I'll be able to go, okay, I know I can take this time. Now I have this time, and now I can take that next step to maybe prepare everything or to order extra Indian food from First Seed Foods
Right.
to keep in my freezer and stuff like that. And I think there's a coupon code, and I'll come back and put it down here too. There is a special coupon code for the next month.
Oh, really?
You put it in the newsletter.
Was that the one that I put in the newsletter?
Do you remember what it was? I'll have to look it up.
Don't remember.
But anyhow, so because that's one of the things, like we got that delivered, and in the past, when either we don't have the teaspoons to do things, or we're really, really busy and working hard, or just the world is blowing up, putting some rice in the rice cooker and eating something from the freezer is very easy. You don't have to buy First Seed Foods. You can make your own food and keep it in the freezer for emergencies too.
Right. And another thing that she's been doing also that's very helpful is, like tonight, when we had our chili tofu and rice, she took and separated out the rice into 2 containers and then put the leftovers on top of each one. So tomorrow, when I'm going, oh man, I'm really hungry, but I really don't have time to do anything, I can open that door, I can grab out that container that's already made in a lunch-sized portion, pop it in the microwave, and then I have instant lunch. And I don't have to think about it. It's just already ready for me.
And I've talked a lot of times about doing a favor for your future self. Because if you lived with your best friend, and or even like things with Cheryl, like sometimes this morning, even though I wasn't feeling great, I'm like, she was stressed out. And I was like, I'll make her coffee before I go.
And she did. And I was over there in my own little world going, and then she just came over and just handed me this coffee. And I was like,
Pumpkin spice, of
thank
course.
you. It was delicious, actually. And I was like, thank you. Like, I didn't expect that. It was unexpected, and it actually made me feel a little less stressed out from all the stuff.
And so sometimes you have to do those things for yourself too. So like, I love it a lot when I come upstairs and Cheryl has emptied the dishwasher in the morning, because I don't like emptying the dishwasher. However, I know I'm going to have a good day when I start off with the dishwasher empty. So I do it as a favor to myself later on that day. Or sometimes it's like your way future self, and then sometimes it's like, I could squirt some toilet cleaner in the toilet and go upstairs. It's not that hard, but then when you come down and you're just like, swish, swish, look how clean everything is, right? Like it's all these little steps that we think about that are hard. And Apple says, my noise sensitivity is off the charts. I can't handle more than one noise at a time. The trend of music behind talking on YouTube videos is particularly problematic for my neurology. And I can see that too. It's encouraged on shorts, which I go back and forth with some of that too. I don't do as many of those. And Apple, I did see your Instagram earlier today. Did you get someone to help you with your website? And if you didn't, I'm not sure that I can do everything that you need, but we can look into it. So message me and Cheryl on Heartbeat, because Cheryl wants to learn some more about WordPress, and I might be able to check it out if nobody's already hooked you up.
Yeah.
Because you help us all the time.
Yeah. And I am like that too with the noise. And then I too, like Tanya, have been having some smell sensitivity.
Yeah, someone else. Yes, it smells, and
it's weird. It's hit me a few times. In the summer when we were at Disney, I actually had a full-blown asthma attack from perfume, where I always call it, takes a bath in their perfume, and you know what I'm talking about.
But she literally, like, it's not even just an annoyance. It actually makes her sneeze, and she turns red. Like there's a physical effect.
And I start coughing to a point where I feel like my throat is closing, and I can't catch my breath, and it makes me panic. So I have an inhaler for when those things happen. We were in a shop. Were we in a shop, or we were someplace, and you were like, just keep moving because there were so many candles and things like that. You were like, don't eat.
It was like a perfume oil store.
Yeah,
I forget where we were.
Don't even go in
just
there.
Come on, because she's like starting to dawdle, and I'm like, oh no, we're not going to do that. Video 1000 Nights. What was the worst and the best meal on your trip? The worst meal was a cup of salad. That was our lunch for lunch one.
Literally a cup of salad.
If anybody from ECAM is watching, it was rectified, and we appreciated the tofu and the whole dinner size salad. But one of the employees, I was like, do we get two? You get what you asked for. And I was like, you do not want to mess with me and give me 200.
She was already hangry.
It wasn't even like this much salad. It was less than that.
You know what it was? It was like the typical medium-sized coffee drink cup.
That wasn't even
like
packed full.
Like the plastic, about yay high cup, about tiny around, and it was half full. So it wasn't even like the whole cup was filled up. It was half full.
Yeah. So they gave me another one. They got the teacher look.
Mm-hmm. There also was another meal that I didn't like very much.
What was that?
When we were in the University of Maryland, right there.
That hotel, it was awesome. The cozy room is really cozy. I liked it.
I did like it, and it's a cheap room too.
We ordered
everybody complains because they're so small.
But it was very nice. Like it was my favorite hotel, honestly, of the whole time.
Yeah, it was
quiet. The bed linens were awesome. The bed was good. It was a good shower.
What did you say? You said you always know that the bed's good when they sell their linens and mattresses online.
Open their little thing. They're like, you could buy this. I'm like, yes. But we ordered from Planta, which I guess is a chain that we hadn't had. So I liked what I got.
That wasn't the meal I was complaining about. I liked that meal. It was just a little too
I know. The next day. Okay, yeah, that was the worst meal. I forget the name of that place. It was a soul food place.
Yeah.
And so we got tofu over rice with barbecue sauce, but it's like they just took it
was like they put an entire bottle
of so much
barbecue sauce on top of our tofu, and it was so much that it just like made it like barbecue soup.
It was, and so I like lots of sauce on my stuff, and it was more than twice as much that I could take. So I was like worried about her. The greens were pretty good.
Well, the greens were good.
The cabbage was okay, but it was very expensive. They weren't very nice, and our shoes stuck to the floor while we were waiting in line.
It was kind of gross.
So. Yeah, so both of those meals.
And I mean, it could have just been the day. It could have been.
What was your favorite meal?
Oh, I got to go back to Root to Rise.
All
my favorite meals on this trip were at Root to Rise in Pleasantville, New York. I highly, highly recommend if you can get there, get there.
It's not too far from Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Which may not help you very much, but
it's Pleasantville, New York,
And it's not far from Nyack. It's not far from Sleepy Hollow.
I don't think it's very far from Yonkers and all that side of.
So it's a vegan, gluten-free restaurant, and they make everything from scratch. I actually brought home some bread that I'm sticking in the freezer. You loved the lentil bolognese.
The lentil bolognese was amazing.
And it was over a combination of chickpea pasta and zoodles. And usually Cheryl is like team heck no on the zoodles, and she loved it.
It was the perfect combination of both. Like there was enough actual chickpea noodles in there that when you got to the zoodle, the texture seemed the same, right? So there wasn't that mushy kind of thing. And then their mac and cheese was really, really good too. They put a lot of thought into their cheese sauces, I think.
I had kind of like some green Thai curry noodle, kind of like in between a ramen and a noodle soup. That was really good. And then I'm trying to remember the other thing I had. Oh, I had some of their mulligatawny. I think I'm saying that right. I'm so tired, I don't know. And then the second time I had one of their gluten-free vegan bagels with homemade herb cream cheese. That was good.
You brought home a bagel for yourself too,
didn't you? Yeah, I did. That's going to be for the weekend.
But as far as the Planta restaurant in College Park, when we ordered
you
from
liked
there,
it, but
I loved it.
It was too
spicy. So I ordered their version of. She got the vegan sushi, which they're famous for, and of course, you all know that I won't eat the vegan sushi because I don't want anything that has anything remotely
no seaweed for Cheryl.
And so I ordered their version of carbonara, of pasta carbonara, and it was delicious, except for it had like chili flakes and chili oil in it. And so it was
very spicy.
It was very spicy. I ate as much of it as I could, but it just started bothering me a little bit. And so I don't count that as one of my least favorite meals because I actually enjoyed it
I just couldn't eat
that much of it because it was just messing with my.
Okay. So the sushi I got from there was really, really good. There was one roll that had broccoli tempura that was a no for me. Flavor-wise, they also put some truffle with that. It was too weird with the broccoli flavor, which I love broccoli, so this is an unusual thing for me to say, but like I had watermelon nigiri, so I think they dehydrated it, they marinated it and dehydrated it, and then it looked like tuna, and then one was eggplant, and it looked like eel, and there was another box roll, and those were quite good. They would have been better in the restaurant than eating. We had them delivered, but again, I don't fault the restaurant for that, But I would love to go. And there's one in Atlanta, right? It
took them like 30 minutes to get from the restaurant to the hotel, because it was traffic outside Baltimore area, so.
Right, that's a me problem, not a them problem.
Exactly.
And Elizabeth, I put up here, said there are things like forest bathing blend that helps, and I didn't know about that. So Elizabeth, perhaps we need to speak on Thursday. Are we going to see you on Thursday at the vegan buffet? If you guys are local, don't forget at Sitar in Durham, they every other Thursday they do a complete vegan buffet. And so we go a lot of times, and
it's a very social event, and if you join us in the back of the restaurant,
there's a back room, and that's where the plant pod sits, and some other people come and join. It's just really nice. You meet
very welcoming and always a good time.
Yeah, so you can bring friends or come by yourself. You'll still have someone to hang out with and say hey to us. Hello. Adriana said, I was also very grateful for the stretching video we did earlier this week, and that would be with Angela Fischetti. And it was wonderful, and I shared it with several people. Great, because she's got such a good heart, and she's so precise, and she's just really good. So I would like to see more. She
thinks about all the things that you don't really think about before you start doing something, like you shouldn't do this if you have this, or you shouldn't do this if you have that. And
I don't think about any of those things. I'm getting to an age that perhaps I should start thinking about them, but
I am going to break that out a little bit and put it up so that it can be just a workout video for you folks.
And we'll go ahead and put timings up on the one that exists, so you could just skip through the beginning and not watch after the workout too. And Tanya says, okay, sorry. It's because the thing is right there, so if you see me put something up and it's flashing, I'm sorry, that's me. I'm working from home because of my scent thing. I cough to the point of being sick, break out in hives, can't breathe, throat starts scratching. Oh my gosh, just started last December.
Wow.
And Lisa says I have a sensitivity to perfumes too. The worst is the drugstores when you have to walk through the perfume section to enter. Just be glad it's not the 80s or the 90s when you'd walk into a store and they'd spray perfume at you,
right in your face.
Right? Oh, and Apple was saying, and was the cup of salad just lettuce, grated carrots, and a few cherry tomatoes?
It didn't even have cherry tomatoes.
But it did have butternut squash and a few
bit.
Cranberries, and I think a few pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
But I think it was like 3 pieces of butterscotch.
I was gonna say, when she says butternut squash, it was like 3 little tofu-sized pieces.
I was thinking we were getting a dinner-sized salad with like a half of roasted butternut squash, and but it was not. So yeah, and Apple is saying to Tanya, my heart goes out to you. I can relate in regards to the sensitivities.
That's a mouthful.
That was hard, Apple. There are many places I can't go. I can't take public transit. That's really hard. And we had a talk one time too about Lush, because you had a lot of problems with Lush, and it is one of my dirty little secrets. I managed to not buy anything in Lush this year.
I like to go in there, but I can't stay in there for I'm gonna sneeze just think about it. And I just think about Lush and I start sneezing.
Oh, and I love this. Angela is here. We were just talking about her. She said she was sorry for being late. Nobody has to be sorry. Y'all can watch the replay. We're just happy to hang out with you. Yeah. I'm glad you filmed tonight, though. That's awesome. So happy to be here with you from Lauderdale Lakes, Florida. Love your jammies. This is a whole sweatsuit. You might see me extra. I went walking down the neighborhood. The pants are the same.
Yep. It's
no Halloween shame here. None.
It's fun.
Adriana said, I made a delicious cashew creamer this morning, and although I don't normally drink coffee, I do have cinnamon drinks daily. It was quite delicious. Elizabeth is coming, and she's wanting to know if I'm going to be in costume. I didn't think about it.
I thought about wearing my costume, but I can't.
You can't wear that one.
Because I'll knock something
but
over.
there is another one you can wear.
Did you see the one that I sent you? The one?
Yes. Anyhow, there'll be surprises coming up. Don't worry. Let's see. Yeah, and it's sitar Indian cuisine. And that's Elizabeth again. And I'm always sharing you guys to go watch on the Plant Pot. And once a month, they have an in-person potluck, and they have also once a month a Zoom meeting so people can meet from wherever. Aw, you're so welcome, Angela. No, I really appreciate you doing that. Yes, and I have not put it up yet. So now Cheryl will remember.
What?
She emailed the feet, ankles, shins, because someone asked for that specifically. So we can link that up. I didn't know that, Elizabeth. My mom had, and my sister has sensitivity to smell. And the doTERRA oils that she uses doesn't cause the same issue for her sister.
They've never caused an issue for me either, the doTERRA ones.
We use the stuff that's like Bengay, the blue something, and
the stuff for the sore muscles.
Ooh, no. KDL says, have you smelled the sticky date stuff at Lush? It's so amazing. No, but I managed to not buy any Halloween bath bombs thus far. So we can see if I make it through the week. Because that's going to be tough. Oh, Terry says, surprise cliffhanger, no fair. On class, Cheryl came on in her new costume. But But we'll see. We haven't really pulled out the costumes or anything in a while. Mm-hmm. But we did, you know what, here's what we will do. If we don't wear a costume, we will wear spooky clothes, because I actually bought for my spooky wardrobe. So I bought nice skirts and a nice dress, and actually we have one thing where Cheryl has a shirt that matches my skirt.
We're going to be all matchy-matchy.
It's going to be adorable. I think we'll have to have a picture of that for the If you don't look really closely, you won't notice that it's spooky.
We got that to wear to the Piedmont Farm Rescue. What's the thing that the gala?
The Piedmont Animal Refuge Gala. Fundraiser. Yeah, Deep Blue Rub is what it's called. Thank you. And it smells nicer. Like when if I put something like that on, the dog and the cat are like. But if I put the blue stuff on, they're not as.
He's still back there?
He's still back here.
Hey, Bubby.
He's like, I was napping.
Has his own little chair. Elizabeth says we can come as you are, no costume required.
But it could be fun. I have some fun Halloween-y type clothes. Mm-hmm. So we might at least dress a little bit or something.
We can festive it up.
And Elizabeth, I don't know if you can get off work early, but we were talking to Helene, who runs Triangle Veg Fest, about maybe going to Pure Soul before that, because they're doing tarot readings, because it is actually on Halloween. So let's see. Tanya says, hi, Fergus. And Fergus is like, why are you keeping my mommies up? No. And Angela says, I have to tell you both look really well and have come to terms with your recent life events. Thank you. You are truly both glowing. Lots of love and joy here. And it's true. You missed the first part where basically I'm kvetching about what a horrible day I've had. and what we've done incrementally to kind of try and work through it. Yeah. But I feel more tired. Like literally, if Cheryl hadn't said, please come on with me tonight, I would have gone to bed at 8. I would have just crawled into bed and read a book, probably just relaxed. Fergus would be laying on me, because Fergus is like, it's time to go to bed. And there's no escaping Fergus.
Oh, I wanted to get something to show everybody.
Okay, what are you going to show everybody?
Show everybody what we got from Dog.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to Lisa and them about it earlier today.
So what she's talking about is, Max passed away. I think most everybody knows that. And in 2019, our other dog, Brenna, had passed away, and they both went to the same boarding place that also did some training and daycare. And so when Brenna passed, they sent us a bunch of flowers. And this time they sent us this beautiful blanket. Here, I'll help you. And it's pictures of both of them. So the darker dog, that's Brenna. And so it's all these pictures from daycare. And so it's very sweet.
Yeah.
So, but now that just made me sad.
Yeah.
Happy, sad, but sad. I'm like, sorry. I'm like, Cheryl's like, you're feeling fine now. We'll just get you. And I was like, Alba was saying, what am I reading? I just started something that's like, okay. I'm going to have to get up in your face to come see this. And I'm sorry about this, but I've got to look on my Kindle. And yes, I know this is shaking. Do I have Kindle open? Of course not. All right. Oop, that didn't help. I think I made it disconnect. Okay. Evidently, we will find out later. But it's something in Poltergeist.
Oh, one of these silly things?
It's totally silly. So I found out about it on one of the newsletters I'm in, and it's like kind of like a queer Halloween Hallmark romance.
Oh my God.
It is mind candy.
She reads the most ridiculous, like, werewolf vampire trash books.
Oh, absolutely. I read some good stuff too.
I want them to see. You guys got to see what this looks like.
Oh, that's why I keep going, home? Because like the things on the bottom are right there.
But look how big the phone looks in this, in the way that the angle of everything is, makes the phone look like it's just giant.
Okay, that's not fun to watch.
Hilarious.
Okay, dear. Now everybody's saying what a lovely tribute to Max. That's so sweet, spectacular, beautiful. They're just really, really kind. I don't know how they did that. They didn't like it just appeared in the mail when we got home.
When we got home, we were opening up packages, and there it was.
Yeah, like a memory quilt. Exactly, Miss Terry. Yeah, you know what? I have not seen Ryan lately either, and I was going to ask.
He was in something.
But we should probably check up on him. So maybe you can just.
He was in one of our lives, I think, when we were on the road.
Was he?
Yeah, I think he popped in for a few minutes.
Okay, but we should. So Ryan, if you're watching this replay, please let us know that you're doing okay. Alrighty. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's a personal question, just because he's a community member, and for forever he would be here all the time. But we've kind of swished up our schedule a little bit too.
I think he moved at one point too, so he might be in different time zone. I'm not sure.
Anyhow, we will find out more about that. And Ali said, "Love the Salem content. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It was a really good, like, vacation. We just walked around." Fergus is fussing at me. Walked around, looked at things.
Enjoyed time with people. We had several lovely dinners while we were there with some folks. Community member, Aziara.
We had a nice dinner and chat with her.
And then we met with a couple of the guys that I used to work with, and that was lovely. They live in Salem, and
we had with our eCam friends.
Our eCam friends.
So the day before the conference started, 2 days before, because they couldn't do the day before, right? Paul, who I call Uncle Paul, he lives in San Francisco, and he's amazing. And then Caleb, who lives in Charlotte, that we don't see enough, who I told him to call me Meemaw. He's not that young, but it's hilarious. He's awesome. He's our Gen Z baby. And Doc, who you guys have seen come into the community and stuff like that. It was just so fun, because Doc is really special to me. I have a really special relationship. He's just such a amazing, smart, talented individual. And so
and he's really been supportive of us, and the whole community there was super supportive of me moving on and moving into working with Kathy and everything, and they just really lifted me up and made me feel very confident in my skill set.
Well, it was just 2 days. So we meet most every Saturday. I meet with this group, and we've been meeting since like 2021 at least. Yeah. And so it was just 2 days after Cheryl had been laid off, and I'm like, "You're going to go in the group." And she's like, "I don't want to." And I'm like, "No, now you're going in the group." And then it was really great, because everyone really uplifted you, and we're very excited that you were going to get to do some really cool stuff. Oh, that's a good question, Miss Terry. Yes. When? I don't know. So I'm kind of playing it by ear. I still have one more really hard for me thing to do this week. So I'm going to just see how my energy level goes. But I do have a few things that I want to make for us. So I hate to give you the non-answer, but I'm giving. What do you think? When am I doing it?
When should we do it, Bubby?
I think he was just telling me when.
Do you want to come here? Come on.
Anyhow, but yes, we will. SFOS says, do you have any low sodium Tex-Mex recipes? Yes. And on one of Chef AJ's shows that I did this year or last year, I guess it, he's mad at you. Just stop it. He's like, get out of my face. I did a salsa. So I did salt-free salsa, which I know is hard to find. But like with any of the recipes that I have, like if you go to plantbasedinstantpot.com, there's some, and on healthyslowcooking.com, you can use a salt substitute of your choice instead of using salt. My salt substitute of choice, my plain salt substitute of choice, to be more specific, 1 tablespoon onion powder, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon ground celery seed mixed together and used as you would salt. So don't dump it all in, which someone has done before. I take no responsibility for how much salt substitute you use. No. But if there's something specific you want, if you want to, you can leave a comment and I'll come back and put it. Or you can email me at kathyhester@gmail.com and put like question in the subject line. Ollie said, I never saw a jack-o'-lantern show like that before. That the Blaze in Hudson. So we have the whole video because like we were having trouble doing. We tried to do it live, so there's a little bit live. Then we went back and filmed the whole thing, and Cheryl edited it, and it's just stunning. That was the second time we had been live, and it's like a mile, and it's not just a mile of lined up jack-o'-lanterns. There's like a carousel and a Ferris wheel and a bridge with fish and seagulls, and
it's just insane.
I actually saw it because we were going on these virtual tours during COVID. Amazon had one, and there was actually a virtual tour place that doesn't exist anymore. And I saw that and I bought it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish we could go there someday. And then when we were driving, we didn't know it existed. So we're just last year, and I'm always working on the computer when we're driving. And so I was going, Halloween, what's around Halloween where we're going to stop? And it was like, oh, the thing is here. And I bought tickets, and like we're driving towards it to try and get to it at a certain time that night.
Yeah. Well, it was like, we don't have time to stop to go to the bathroom. Just let's go.
Right, and Ollie's also says, Angela, hey, I love that live stream, talking about the one last week. As someone who doesn't move like I used to, I learned a lot that day. That's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and Monique, it is an awesome keepsake for the dogs. It makes me a little sad right now, and I'm sure in a few months I will appreciate it more than it making me sad. And Miss Terry, I know you're on the mailing list too, so we'll put something out in the mailing list. Also in the Heartbeat group, we usually try to put an event out too. Fergus, they think you're a good boy.
They didn't see
I wish
you get on the roof.
He's got his ears back here and he won't even look at me. Mal.
He got in trouble today because he went out on the deck, jumped up on the deck railing, and then proceeded to try to jump on the roof.
And I'm on the call with Danny, and I'm going, don't you do it! Don't you do it!
And we're both going, no.
And Danny was just laughing. She was like, oh my God, what is going on? So I turned the laptop around, and I was like, he's trying to get on the roof. There must be and knowing Fergus, he'll get up there and he'll be like, who's coming to get me?
Yeah, and then I would have to get on.
It would not be me, because I'm afraid of heights. Like, I don't do well in a ladder.
That roof, that angle of that roof right there is low enough. I wouldn't have a problem getting up there. It's just I worry about him because he's a small kitty and there are lots of big birds here. So
I don't know what he wanted to do. He probably just wanted our attention.
Brought a chipmunk in the other day too. He got in trouble for that too.
Yeah, let's don't talk about the poor sad chipmunk. evidently Fergus didn't think we ate very good, so he tried to go hunting for us. But Adriana says, my little 2-year-old neighbor asked me what I was going to be for Halloween. I hadn't even thought about it yet. Aww. Ooh, long legs. That's a scary, scary one. And you are so welcome, SFOS. Just let me know. Like, I love Mexican food. I have a mole recipe. Like, really, any of the recipes that are using salt that are Mexican, you can put that salt substitute to, or you can use a different salt-free seasoning as well. I find that the garlic and the onion powder plus celery seed, which has a little bit of sodium in it, kind of gives that mouthfeel to your tongue that it's expecting. Does anybody have any more questions, or do you want to? I'm going to leave you for the.
You can stay for the wrap up.
Okay.
So, what did we learn? We learned that
Kathy gets cranky.
Kathy gets really cranky. Now, the reason I wanted Kathy here today, like I said earlier, is because I just feel like everybody around us seems to be going through kind of the same thing, where we're just being inundated with like all this stuff, and it's just, it's weighing on us. And so I wanted Kathy to come because she just had that happen to her this morning, and so that we could show that, what can you do when you have that, when you can't find your breath, when you can't, when you're just like, you feel like you just can't breathe, and you want to crawl back in the covers, and you want to pull them over your head, and you just don't want to do anything. What can you do to pop yourself out of that? And in Kathy's case, as we learned today, and she went out and she took a walk, and she exposed herself to nature, and she listened to the crickets and the birds and everything, and kind of forest bathed a little bit. And then she made a phone call to a friend, and she reached out for community to help her, kind of guide her through getting through the morning and things. And I think it's really important. We have a great community here, and I want you all to just reach out and use that community. Join the Heartbeat group if you haven't already. There's a lot of great people over there. It's a great community of people, and if you need someone to reach out to us there. You can actually direct message me there on the Heartbeat group, and I am happy to take any messages that you have. If you just need to reach out and talk to somebody, do that. Don't try to do it alone.
And here's another thing. If you're not in a place that you can talk about what's going on with you, that doesn't mean you still can't reach out to a friend and just kind of say, I'm a little down. I could use some company.
Right.
It doesn't have to be this big confessional. The older I get, the less I can just not spill my guts. It's very true.
It is true.
I just can't help but, like, I don't know why that is, but that's with me. But there are times, even with you, you'll be like, do you want to talk about this? Like, even this morning, you're like, do you want to talk about it? I'm like, no, I don't. And that doesn't, and you knew that didn't mean forever.
Right.
But sometimes you have to try and figure out what is going, is this something I can change? Is this a decision I'm trying to make? Like, sometimes there are questions I have, and taking that time can be really helpful. And sometimes you can just be sad or a little lonely, and it's okay to get that help and that support in the way that you need to.
Exactly. And
kind of the way you did it is like you've talked to people from work.
I did. I talked to people from work.
And then met the guys. You almost didn't meet the guys up in Salem.
I almost kind of bailed on the guys in Salem because I was feeling I was having just kind of a kind of day. The things were weighing on me a little bit, even though I was in this place that I love, and I was trying to do things that I loved, but I still in the back of my head, I had this nagging kind of thing. And I'm so glad that I met with them. I'm so glad that I you know, when they reached out to me to meet up, that I said yes.
Yeah.
Because
It was very
it
good.
was very, very good. I spent some time alone with them, and then we spent time together. We had dinner with them, and
They're hilarious and
they are
delightful
hilarious.
anyhow. But it was important. Like for a while at first, Cheryl didn't want to see anybody.
Yeah.
She didn't want to meet with
And
anyone.
I had some embarrassment, like it just like feelings that weren't even like true. Like I just felt like
She felt fired instead of laid off.
yeah.
But the thing is you going ahead and going through those helped you realize you were laid off. You were not fired. You were not undervalued by your peers.
Yeah, I mean, they made that very clear to me, you know, and that really helped knowing that, you know, they respected me for the work that I did and things, and that they were sad that I was gone, and that helped. It helped to boost my confidence because my confidence was feeling very, very low, and you know, and then, you know, I've been struggling, and like Kathy said, we haven't been eating great. We haven't been like doing all the things that we normally do and taking care of ourselves, and it kind of was showing on us.
Yeah, it was, and it's okay. It's okay that it can take time to kind of get to a place. And also for me, I'm very cognizant of the fact of if too many things happen at the same time, it's much harder for me than one thing. One thing, sometimes two things. Once it goes to three things, then it takes I'm still recovering from from things being not in order. And it's not about did you do things perfectly? It's about what's your next meal? What's your next plan? Mm-hmm. What's the one thing you can do for yourself tonight or tomorrow?
Even if it's just tiny things are good. Tiny steps are good.
Take a bath. Sometimes that's all I can do if I'm really depressed. Just get in the bathtub, bring a book. The sillier, the better for me. So when I'm like all nutted up, I want to have, like, I can tell you right now around Christmas, I'm going to be reading some crazy, cozy detective Christmas mystery. I'm not even, like, Christmas is not my favorite holiday, but they exist, a lot of them out there.
And speaking of Christmas, I mean, it is coming up on the holidays, and we're coming up on Thanksgiving and then Christmas not long after. And last year, one of the things that we did for the community was we tried to provide some space for people to join us virtually for meals or just conversation, and that was received very well, and we've had a lot of requests to do that again, and we're going to definitely do that this year again too for people.
And we don't know officially we're going to Thanksgiving dinner, but we're assuming we are. Mm-hmm. And Helene and Jeremy, who you guys hear us talk about a lot, will probably be there too. So probably 4 of us there. Mm-hmm. And who knows, maybe you'll get passed around, or maybe we'll all sit on one side of the table. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll figure something out.
But we'll have you with us, for
and
sure.
Tanya was saying, I need to take your advice. I've not been answering calls or FaceTimes, just don't have the energy right now, but getting easier. And
but do it at your pace.
Do it at your pace, and maybe you can't be on the phone with someone, maybe you don't want to be on video, but maybe you can just send them a quick email or a text saying, I appreciate you calling, I'm not quite there yet. Yeah. I do that all the time though, like I'm catching up on emails from months ago. Uh-huh. So, and Apple also has a great point. When I reach out, I also state whether I want witnessing or feedback. Often I just need someone to witness my struggle without inserting their narrative, so that it's okay to say, can you just listen to me?
Yeah.
You know, can you just hear me?
And we do that a lot. Like, especially me. A lot of times I just want to be able to just say what I'm feeling and stuff and not get any kind of feedback or fixing, like, at the time.
Right, and that makes sense. And we're doing better about that. So when we're taking some walks, especially when she originally got laid off, she was bottling everything up, so we'd take a walk and I would just ask some open-ended questions too, so that she would get some of that out, and that can be really helpful too. Apple says, Tanya, hopefully you saw this. I wish we lived close by because I'd enjoy a quiet stroll with you. And I wish we all lived close so we could all go have a nice spooky stroll. And Angela says, I'm thinking about connecting with you both in December in Orlando. I have clients in Orlando who could get me a room in their facility. I would stay for a night or two. Well, that could be super fun.
Yeah.
And so we'll definitely talk more about that. That would be awesome. And depending on whatever's going on, we might even, well, I don't know, we'll figure that out. I'm getting very sleepy. Did you have anything else you wanted to sum up? It's your show, so here you end it.
Like I said, I wanted everybody to make sure that they're taking care of themselves. We are moving into that season, and there's also a lot of energy going around right now with the state of things, and it's just generally can be a really tough time for people, and so that can manifest itself in a lot of ways. It can manifest itself in feeling kind of down or poopy, or it could be that you're just shoving things in your mouth that you don't normally shove in your mouth. And take a minute, breathe, think about it. Think, what's your goal this week? Is your goal to not put that one thing in your mouth? Then try it tomorrow. See how you do. If you can't get through the whole day without it, try it the next day. Every day's a new day, and just keep working through it, small, nice little bites every day, and you'll get to your goal.
It's true.
So we love everybody. We're glad that you came to see us. And
thank you.
Join us in the Heartbeat group. We're very...
Link down below.
There's a link. Thank you. I always forget. Where's that? Down. And I don't know which camera I'm looking at, so it's down below.
That's not a camera. That's a computer screen. That's
down
right
below.
here.
There's a link to join the Heartbeat group if you haven't already, and if you have, reach out and say hi. And we will see you probably in a live later this week, but I will see you again next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
And everybody's being so awesome. I'm just putting more. This community in our chat always makes me feel better knowing there's so much kindness and support around here. And so I will go ahead and instigate in. Do one kind thing for yourself tonight, and then do another one tomorrow. Live big, okay?
And just remember to treat everybody with kindness right now, even if they don't think the same way that you do.
Even if they're not nice, just take a deep breath and just move on if you have to. But I think everyone's struggling a little bit. Okay, you guys have a really good night. Get some good sleep, and we might even see you tomorrow.
Might.